Howdy folks, and welcome to another Taste of Gameplay video. I'm your host, Stephen Colbert. No, I'm just kidding. Just a little joke there for any Tonight Show fans. As always, these videos are designed to give you a sample of the gameplay of the ship, not to be an exhaustive analysis. I recommend the Wargaming Wiki or other content creators. So, our first serious competitive ship, the Tier 10 French premium cruiser, the Colbert. Hard to know what to say about the Colbert, so there's a few reasons why I do these videos. One is to make sure that there's at least some videos of gameplay of every ship out there. And that is certainly not an issue for the Colbert, because there are more videos on YouTube about the Colbert than you can shake a stick at. Another is to help people that might be trying to decide if they want to buy this ship or not. But again, that's a tough thing for me to help you out with in just a 10 to 15 minute video that's an introduction to this ship, because that's a whole series of videos on its own. The Colbert is a famously high skill ceiling ship, by which I mean it can be extremely powerful, but in order to get value out of it, you really have got to be good, and you have to enjoy a certain style of gameplay. So you see here that immediately I have just found the absolute closest island to where I spawned in, and I am just going to hang out here. And you'll see that for the first, I don't know, 6 or 7 minutes maybe of this game, I'm just not going to have a ton of impact. The first step in any Colbert game is to just not die in the first 5 minutes, and if that means literally sailing around in a circle, then so be it. Your teammates might get upset, but it is so easy to die in this ship. It explodes if you even look at it funny. The Colbert is the absolute pinnacle of the island hugging, shoot over islands, HE spamming gameplay. It doesn't have really any utility. It has a heal, it has a speed boost, it has a hydro, but it doesn't have any smoke or radar. It's not there to spot, it's not there to be the point of the spear. It's there to do exactly one thing, which is to turn on the HE fire cannon when needed and when it's safe to do so, and absolutely obliterate folks. So, for example, here there's going to be this Fletcher up ahead that my friend the Yamagiri, who's going to play really well by the way, is facing, and as soon as that Fletcher gets spotted, I'm basically hanging out here in space just waiting for him to show up, making sure I don't get torped, making sure I don't try not to get spotted at all, but if I do get spotted, I get spotted in a place where nobody can shoot at me. I'm really just here to back up my DD and to not die. Much like Destroyers, the Colbert is one of those ships that as the game goes on, it just gets more and more powerful as there are less ships on the map, and it's easier to pick your spots and to do your positioning correctly. And you are incredibly powerful in the right setting. You're going to see here, I think in a minute, that the Fletcher is going to get spotted by me, presumably by mistake. Maybe he doesn't think I'm still here, but I am. Playing the Colbert can be a very zen-like experience, because sometimes the right answer is to just literally do nothing, and it's so hard to be that patient. But that's just the way the ship is. Yeah, okay, here we go. Turn on the fire hose. I mean, just crushing, right? What was that, like 10k immediately into that Fletcher? Didn't sink him. He managed to get away, but I mean, you know. And then we wait. We just wait. We're going to turn on our hydro to make sure we don't get stealth torped, but basically we wait to be useful again. Our goal is to just keep them from overrunning this flank. You can see they're all pushed back, way back at like the C line. I'm not saying that's entirely because of us, but that's one of the reasons we're here, is just to keep them from advancing. There is an enemy Colbert on the other team. He's going to play okay. He's going to make it near the end of the game, but I think he's got the wrong idea here. He's way too open water. He's actually going to end up sailing all the way over to the other flank. Not super sure why.
Torpedoes, direct front.
So the Fletcher did manage to cap that. He might be feeling good about himself. But he's going to get spotted again. Spoiler alert. Yeah, the Colbert, I mean, for those who don't know, it's just an absolute fire hose of HE. The shells are not bad. They're not super floaty. It's not like Atlanta. They're not rail guns like the Fruitio either. They're sort of in between. They don't have amazing pen. They don't have amazing alpha, but there's just so many of them. They absolutely just hose down enemy ships. The AP is all right. Nothing special, but there's just so many shells. You can do so much damage so quickly. Of course, the Colbert has been power crept a little bit. We have ships like Hawaii now that do some similar things, but it's still a really powerful ship if you're just willing to play like this. Just super patient. Taking your shots when you get them. I mean, we're 7 minutes into the game and I have 19,000 damage. I really haven't done much, but I also haven't taken any damage. Now, again, as I've said before, I play a little conservatively for these videos because I just feel like it doesn't do anybody good if I get obliterated in the first 5 minutes. That doesn't showcase the ship. So, to some extent, that's an intentional choice, but it's also just the flow of this game. Like, we're losing this flank. But we haven't lost the flank. They're not overrunning us. In fact, they seem to be kind of moving to the middle. Now, I'm not paying attention. I don't notice that the Fletcher's spotted, but I finally do notice. Situational awareness for the win. I don't know what this Fletcher's thinking, but he's in big trouble now. There's a nice 2K. There's another 3K. And there's one dead Fletcher. I mean, there's just no way he was going to get away from a Colbert. It's just not going to happen. And honestly, even if that was the only two things I managed to do this entire game, is not die and kill that Fletcher, that would be probably pretty close to at least a 50% win rate performance. Everything after this is almost gravy. Now, this is kind of scary. I'm totally spotted. I'm open water gunboating this Mecklenburg, and the reason I feel like I can get away with it, and I'm going to be mostly correct, is that he's the only one really that can shoot at me in return, and he's not. He's got his guns pointed in a completely different direction. So part of playing the Colbert is just recognizing these little opportunities like this. Even still, I mean, this is incredibly sketchy. Like, that Schlieffen's coming around the corner. He could absolutely hose me down. And in fact, a lot of players will, kind of like with CVs and subs, they'll see a Colbert and the red mist will descend, and they're just like, yeah, so here we go. I don't even know exactly who did all that damage to me. Situational awareness wasn't very good, but I got absolutely clobbered by somebody. One thing the Colbert does have is some pretty solid heals. Not quite like Minotaur level, but pretty good. Pretty good heals, assuming you don't get deb struck. At this range, it's really hard to hit those shells. Oh, maybe it was that Sejong. I should not be open water gunboating that Sejong. Yeah, see, this is no good because I now don't have any more damage control party, and I lost my rudder and I'm on fire, so no bueno. And just one mistake like that and the Colbert absolutely can get you killed. Like, this Sejong really should be shooting at me. I'm not actually clear on why he's not. I'm spotted, and that's probably him. The detect on the Colbert is pretty good. I think it's like 9.6, something like that. It's not bad. Not bad at all.
Problem solved, sir.
Again, at this point, my goal is really just not to throw away my ship. To be as useful as I can, but not die. It's so easy to die in the Colbert, especially in moments like these where you're basically in open water. Not a particularly fast ship. Okay hit point pool, but not anything particularly amazing. Pretty typical light cruiser armor. But again, just in the right hands, in the right situations, absolutely devastating. I'm not going to get a ton of damage in this one, but I think I played reasonably well. So here's a choice, right? Do I open up on this Sejong? And the answer is no. And there's a couple reasons for that, but the big one is I just have a lot less hit points than he does. Also, my Yamagiri player, who I can tell is good and knows what he's doing. As Jingles would say, he can think and breathe at the same time. One of the things I want to mention here, so I finally did open up, and the question is why, and it's kind of an interesting point, I think, because it's not something that gets talked about a lot, but one of the currencies, one of the hidden currencies of World of Warships is your mental attention span, the things you can pay attention to. So the reason I opened up on that Sejong was because I could tell that he was about to face some choices, some physical dexterity as well as some mental dexterity about those incoming torpedoes. Basically, he was going to have to use his attention span to navigate around the torpedoes, which means it's very hard for him to also shoot at me.
Problem solved, sir.
So one of two good things could happen. Either I could distract him from the torpedoes, in which case he eats one, which he did, or the torpedoes could distract him from me, and there's no ability for him to return fire while he's trying to maneuver with the rudder. And both of those happen to some extent. Sometimes if you're in a ship, I do this sometimes in Kitakami, if you're in a ship that launches a bunch of torpedoes, sometimes right before the torps get spotted by an enemy boat, you can shoot at them and get spotted intentionally because they will often immediately swing around to try and shoot you back, and that will distract them, and then sometimes they're not paying attention to the incoming torpedoes. Like they'll literally move their camera and then they don't see the torps. Just a little trick there. That Yamagiri player played really great. I gave him a compliment near the end. We're going to skip ahead here. Oh, I think I already did skip ahead. Yeah, I did a cut there. Nothing much interesting happened as I crossed the map. This game's won. There's not much I can do. We have all of this map. In fact, honestly, the right move at this point, if we were really trying to maximize our win rate, is as a team to just not chase them and to just back off because we've won. I'm going to absolutely yoink this kill. This is a little bit sketchy on my part. Just trying to get some damage in, get in the fun. It's been so long since I shot my guns. I just was like, oh, that Hindenburg's in range. I think I'm going to hit literally one shell and kill him. Probably pissed somebody off. Yeah, well, no, there's two shells and one more shell. Yeah. Kind of cheesy.
Engine boost activated.
Nice, though, because I procced my French commander by capping. Very rarely cap in a Colbert. Anyway, that's the Colbert. Not sure I really got to showcase it in this game, except with that brief moment with the Fletcher, but I mean, it is just absolutely a firehouse of HE. It just devastates people in the right hands, but it also is so easy to kill. It explodes so quickly. I was really lucky in this game to not have CVs or subs or a lot of ships with airstrikes. It was a tier 10 game, but you know, it was a pretty tame one and a good one to showcase this boat. Anyway, that's all I got for you this time. See you in the next one.